time for you to unwind. Cause tonight we gonna have a ball, y'all. From all over the world, we are bringing you the funniest new comics in Los Angeles. Welcome to Live After Dark. Ladies and gentlemen, get on your feet and make some noise for your host, Luke Ashley!
No more magic tricks. I am not good with balancing things. How y'all doing tonight? Woo! Thank you for watching Laugh After Dark and coming out with us tonight. There's a prayer basket going around if you'd like us to pray for something. We don't do that here, okay? Don't leave anything. That's it? You're just gonna stop laughing right after that? Nothing else is funny? I'm nervous because I had something on my teeth just now, and my stylist came to wipe it off my teeth. I think it was lipstick, and she was like, I just fingered myself, I'm sorry, so I hope it's okay. I don't make this stuff up. It was all right. I'm a very competitive person in the bathroom, okay? I only put down a toilet seat liner if someone's in the stall next to me to hear it, because I come off cleaner. Come on, think about it. You go in the bathroom like, ain't nobody here. Fuck that liner, I'm just gonna pee, shit. But then you see people coming in behind you, hey Sally, what's going on? You gotta pull out the liner, because they'll talk about you. Luke didn't even she didn't put down a liner, she went straight to peeing. That's a nasty hoe. That's what I don't wanna be. So I had to put that on liner for these bitches that don't even know what I'm doing. And I hate those liners because you got to detach them in certain places, and then they're cheap because you're ripping it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Now I got to get another one. I just wasted all this. That could have saved a baby dolphin or something. I don't know. It's too much work. I hate peeing. It interrupts my life. Because I could be having a good time at a party. Yeah, until the other day. And then you got to pee, and you got to stop, and then you got to shift. Because you're trying to keep your pee from coming out. Do you understand what I'm saying, sir? You look very confused. You look like you thought you had somewhere else to go tonight, not here.
Keep it locked. We got Robert Schultz and Keitra Long. Laugh After Dark. We'll be right back. We back. Make some noise for Robert Schultz.
I come from an overprotective family. Growing up, my mom would never let me play video games because she said video games were too violent for children. Instead, she made me go outside and play with the other kids in the neighborhood. Immediately backfired. All that meant was that instead of staying inside and playing violent games like Call of Duty or Gears of War, I was outside playing neighborhood games like Punch Each Other Until It Goes Too Far. Or the cul-de-sac classic, someone's older brother's here and he is hurting us. I grew up with 2 sisters, no brothers. Sometimes people will hear that and they'll say to me, hey, you grew up with sisters. Does that mean you're good at talking to girls? It actually means I am bad at talking to guys. There's this whole warped logic when dudes speak to each other I was never exposed to and still do not understand. Like, I could say something objectively gross to another guy. Like hey man, I just fucked the shit out of that girl. And he'll high-five me and go about his day. But then if I say something that really shouldn't be gross at all, like, hey man, I just made love to that girl and her skin felt amazing against my skin. That same guy will be like, ugh, what, did you kill her afterwards? There's very little self-awareness whenever guys get together. Like in any group of guys, whenever one of them gets laid, all the other ones will ask him a bunch of really dumb questions like, oh, how was it, dude? Was it good? Yeah, there is no point asking a guy if the sex he had was good for him. Sex is always good for a guy. That's an important distinction. There's that old saying, it goes, having sex is like eating pizza. Even if it's bad, it's still pretty good. Yeah, that's only if you're a guy. If you're a girl, having sex is like watching somebody else eat pizza. Even if it is good, you're still probably gonna have to feed yourself later. I got out of a long-term relationship a few months back. We liked each other, but we could never really get on the same page. Like, my ex would always do this thing where she would try to use celebrities to make me jealous. Yeah, we were watching TV one day, and Ryan Gosling came on the screen, as he often does. He's a talented man. But my girlfriend saw him and said, "Oh, now I would totally let him have sex with me. Does that make you jealous?" And look, I pretended that it did because I knew that's what she was going for or whatever, but of course it did not. What? I'm supposed to be jealous that Ryan Gosling is able to have sex with my girlfriend? I'm already able to have sex with my girlfriend. I'm jealous Ryan Gosling is able to have sex with better people than my girlfriend. I'm not jealous he can fuck my girlfriend. I'm jealous he doesn't have to. Can't imagine why we didn't work out. I can't. But I've been going on a lot of first dates the last few months, and first dates are so tough because you're trying to figure the other person out, and nobody reveals their entire self on the first date. You're getting a very watered down version. That's why I always pay extra attention on first dates whenever they give an opinion on something. Because you know that the first date opinion is only about 10% of the actual opinion. Like if on the first date somebody says they sometimes like to watch a little anime, that means they fucking love anime. If you get laid that night, it will be in a room with Dragon Ball Z wallpaper. If on the first date somebody says they're open to the idea of one day having a kid, their son Tyson is waiting in the minivan. If you're on a very first date with somebody and they casually mention that they think Steelers quarterback Ben Roethlisberger is a little underrated, look closer. You're on a date with Ben Roethlisberger. Have fun, but keep your head on a swivel. His Wikipedia page gets dark. I'm on all those dating apps, though. In fact, I actually recently matched with a girl I went to high school with. I didn't know it was her at first because the entire time we were in high school together, she actually had cancer. So I didn't recognize her with hair and healthy. And it was genuinely good reconnecting with her, knowing everything she's overcome, to the point where I actually felt uncomfortable trying to flirt with her. Because she'd be like, "Oh my God, in high school, you were such a funny boy." And I'd be like, "Oh my God, in high school, you were such an inspiration." She'd try to keep it light. She'd say, "Oh, do you remember junior prom?" And I'd say, "Yeah, we raised so much money for you." There's been a lot of celebrity scandals the past few years. You know, Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein. Y'all read Twitter. The one that caught me most off guard was actually Jared from Subway. Jared was a guy who lost a bunch of weight eating Subway sandwiches, was named their national spokesperson, then got caught with child pornography and sent to jail. The craziest thing about that is even after he was arrested for being a predator, we all kept referring to Jared from Subway as Jared from Subway. What did that man have to do to shake off a brand? Like, I'm sure Jared's not the first pedophile to eat sandwiches, but he is the first pedophile to eat so many sandwiches, that stayed his main thing. He's Jared from Subway, who also turned out to be a pedophile if you Google it. Wait, what? You've got to throw down a lot of fresh fit meals to drop pedophile to number 2. If I say O.J. Simpson, nobody thinks, "Ah, yes, pride of the Buffalo Bills." Oh, wait, O.J.? Wait a minute. I know that name. That's the son of a bitch who murdered my Chiefs in the playoffs. I'll always hate him for that. Even fictional celebrities are having scandals nowadays. Like DC comic books, apparently they decided not enough adults were reading Batman comic books. That was a problem for them. So they released an official R-rated Batman comic where they, and this is true, showed Batman's full penis. Which made me really mad. Not that they showed Batman's dick, but that they didn't give Batman a small dick. What a missed opportunity. Look, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times. I've torpedoed many an exam's essay portion with it. A Batman with a small dick is inherently more interesting. It's like, hey, Batman, buddy, you sure have a lot of rage about the death of your parents. Yeah, that's what all the rage is about. Somebody got mad at me earlier because I wouldn't let them borrow my cell phone. They got like really upset with me. Let me be clear. I have no problem lending somebody the phone. I have a huge problem lending somebody everything else I keep on my phone. That's the like downside of smartphone technology. Like I keep everything on here. I've had the same phone for 3 years, haven't deleted a thing. So when somebody asks me, hey man, can I borrow your phone? What they're also asking is, hey man, can I borrow every conversation your ex-girlfriend's dumped you in? Oh, I'll give it back after a couple seconds. I just want to count how many times you say, ha ha, is this for real? I'm way too reliant on technology. Like the internet's down at my apartment right now, so no porn for me. I've had to use my imagination. Have you ever had to do that? It's doable, but dangerous because your mind wanders. Like I'll start off great, like thinking of a supermodel on the beach, and then moments later I'll catch myself like, oh, I'm just fully masturbating to me as a Jedi right now. It's probably for the best though. Porn's gotten so confusing. I saw a video title the other day on the main page of a porn site, the main page, and this was the real title. It was, Twin Stepsisters Get Fucked on Spring Break. I didn't read that and think, ooh, that's hot. I read that and thought, ooh, is it even possible to have twin stepsisters? I looked it up right away. Turns out it is possible. All that needs to happen is a woman needs to be married to a man, have sex with him, fertilize one egg on that same ovulation cycle, have sex with another man she's not married to, fertilize another egg, so 2 fertilized eggs, 2 different fathers, married to one, get both, divorce the first husband, marry the second father, have him adopt the first husband's first kid. And by the way, that's not 2 one-night stands for the mother. That's 2 marriages. That's real love. That's tragic love. Because no matter which husband she chooses, one of her daughters will grow up without their real dad. So at this point, I'm light years away from an erection. I don't know about any of you. All right, y'all have been absolutely amazing. Thank you so much.
Yo, Laugh After Dark. Keep it glued to your seats. We'll be right back. Y'all know how to clap. Let's do it for Keitra Long.
All right, y'all could do better than that, but after. Y'all don't know me, I don't know y'all. Brief introduction, my name is Keitra. That's Ketra. A lot of people see that on paper, fuck that up. They call me Ketra, Kenra Tantra. Last week I got karate. That's not my goddamn name. I'm doing comedy for a while. I got this one homeboy, he always called me Ketra. I'm like, yo man, why you always call me Ketra when you know my name is Keitra? He's like, cause your mama dumb, your name is Ketra. Everybody knows you need the E, the EI, or the EY sound to make the long E sound. Everybody knows that. If it's not, name one word preceded by a consonant followed by a vowel that makes a long E sound. I was like, oh shit, maybe my mama is dumb. Took me 2 years, y'all. But I called him back at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was like, zebra, bitch, and I just hung up the phone. It's Keitra like zebra. Intro, you like that, thank you. Yeah, I'm thinking about sleeping with white women. Just gonna get right into it. Thinking about sleeping with white women because that's the quickest way to a black man. That's what they doing. I want to do it too. Just want to reap the benefits of my pussy. That's all I do. What's up? What's white women's pickup line? when y'all begin with black dudes. Come on, Jamal, let me make you this macaroni and cheese straight out the box. No. Because white women just act like OJ did not happen. Y'all just control, alt, that, delete shit right from your mind. Just right from your mind. I was talking to my best friend, Allison. Of course, she's white. She was like, Keetra, that's not fair. That could happen to anybody who fell in love with OJ. I was like, Allison, his first wife was black and that bitch made it out alive. She was the one directly behind him at the trial. She was his ride for the ride or die. The other bitch died. Seriously, my favorite thing to see is to see white chicks get stuck with an ain't shit black dude. That's like my favorite thing to see. I love it. Because then y'all get to see what we go through. You know, he be on the couch playing the PlayStation 4, spending the money her daddy gave her. Like, Tyrone, you said you were going to the NBA, but you barely got your GED. And I'm sick of selling your mixtape outside the grocery store. My second favorite thing to see, I love to see black dudes be miserable with fat white bitches. I love that. I love it. Not like regular fat white bitches. I mean dirty bottom of the feet fat white bitches. Flip-flop in the wintertime wearing fat white bitches. Like, she had a tattoo of a heart when she was 15, but now that shit a map because it just wrap around. They don't never fight. They be mud wrestling and shit. I can say all that shit because I'm 3 years cancer-free, guys. Yep, had the old tit cancer. Started from the bottom, still here. That's what cancer's doing. That's what cancer's doing. I know, I was very strong when I first went into remission and I started talking about it on stage. Like, everybody was in my business. People would be like, oh my God, Keetra, we didn't know you had the cancer. I'm like, that's because you're not my friend, bitch. A lot of people after my shows like to talk to me about being a cancer survivor. I'm like, well, you don't look like you had the cancer. I'm like, oh, excuse me. What about now? Me and my father, we have a very tumultuous relationship. He tried to out-cancer me and shit. Sidebar, before I tell you about this. This is how fucked up me and my dad's relationship is. My dad think I'm a lesbian because somebody told him I remind him of Wanda Sykes. He's like, oh, Felicia down there at the job said you remind her of that Wanda Sykes. Now, I know you're funny and you're telling them jokes and all, but are you funny? I don't know. I was 2 weeks out of remission, and my dad called me. He was like, oh, baby girl, they said I got the cancer too. I'm like, oh my God, Dad, how you know? I've been coughing. They say it's contagious, and I got it from you. I was like, oh shit, what kind of cancer you got, Dad? He said, ovarian. I can see that, Daddy, because you ain't nothing but a little bitch. Just got a bitch-ass daddy. No. Most women, like, when we get a diagnosis, something like cancer, we get nervous about our hair, especially the hair on our head. But I remember... Okay. I remember my first thought, well, it was actually my second thought. My first thought was, when I got the diagnosis, was, how I'ma have breast cancer? I ain't got no breasts. And my second thought, was I didn't want to lose my eyebrows. All right? Because think about it. You lose your eyebrows, you don't have no fucking facial expression. You lose your eyebrows, same shit, make you happy, make you sad. I know this because my grandma didn't have no eyebrows, right? And she used to draw her shit on. And I remember this one day before we went to church, she drew one eyebrow on her forehead, one eyebrow on her cheek, sort of like The Rock, the people's eyebrow. And then she turned around. I said the only thing I could say, my grandma, aren't we optimistic today? She was crying and shit. She said they was tears of joy, but we couldn't tell because she ain't had no fucking eyebrows. talk about my life. When I was 6, I had a full mustache and a goatee. Kids in my neighborhood nicknamed me Lil Man. Had to live through that. I used to have to see my mother naked all the time, too. Because poverty breeds nakedness. Poverty breeds nakedness. My mom used to be naked all the time. When I turned 7, I couldn't take that shit no more. I got pissed off. I had it out with her. I was like, Mom, why you gotta be naked all the time, huh? Why you gotta be naked all the time? She's like, 'cause I don't need on a bra when I'm about to whoop your ass. I was like, yeah, but do you gotta be naked when you're making my lunch? I don't want your milk in my milk. She'd do everything naked. She'd be washing the windows naked, waving to the neighbors. Titties would be swinging left to right. I remember this one time, the neighborhood bully, Kenny Witherspoon, came by our house to play hide and go get with my sister because she was a whore. If you don't know what hide and go get is, that is the black version of hide and go seek, where if you get caught by a boy, you get to touch a girl's titties. Now, Kenny Witherspoon wanted to play with my sister because she was a neighborhood whore. That's neither here nor there, just moving the story along. Kenny came by to play hide and go get with my sister Sean, and my mom came to the door naked, and Kenny just ran away. He never told a soul. Until one day, he was on a school bus, and I accidentally stepped on his brand new Air Jordans, and the whole bus was quiet, just like y'all are right now. And Kenny looked at me and was like, "What the fuck, little man? What the fuck?" "That's why I saw your mama naked." I was like, no. You didn't see my mama naked. That's not even my real mama. My real mama wasn't even born naked. That was hard for me. I had to go to every first grade homeroom and dispel the rumor that Kenny Witherspoon saw my mama naked. I was going to people's room. Hey, Julie, can you tell everybody in your class, Kenny Witherspoon never saw my mama naked? That's not even my real mama. My real mama wasn't even born naked. I just wanted to share that story with y'all because Kenny Witherspoon just got out of prison last month. And his sister Kayreen taught him how to use Twitter. And he tweeted me last week. Said, "I wanted this to be my first tweet. I see what you're doing out there in Hollywood, little man. Stay up. P.S. I saw your mama naked. Never forget." All right, good night. God bless y'all.
Yo, we'll be right back. Don't leave that seat, bro.
All right, everybody, go home, have some drugs. Apparently, that's what's in right now. Thanks for watching the show. I love all of you a little bit. I'm your host, Luke Ashley. Thanks for watching. Peace.